And just to make it clear, I'm here to speak against school choice very clearly and strongly. And not only just against school choice, but I'm hoping to have you all consider eliminating it across the state. It's causing major economic upheaval and region-wide. So not only in our superintendency union, which is the Windsor Southeast Supervisory Union, which is Windsor, West Windsor, Heartland, and Scott, the 4 schools that encompass that. 3 of those schools have school choice currently, and Windsor built their own high school 20 years ago, almost to this year. But the issue is that the tuitioning of the students from the surrounding towns, the money's going to private schools, and I think it's an outrage that public money is being used to fund private schools, academies, schools that are out of state. Our schools suffering, and it would be just a shame to see what was a viable high school and could be a viable high school if all the towns in the area sent their kids to that school to see it close. And on top of that, the tuitioning is hurting our property values. Towns in the surrounding area have their values are inflated by about 50% when you look at things. I work as an architect, I'm always looking at property values. I have a fairly good sense of things. Our town has seen a 12% decrease in the home sales over the past year. It's one of the highest in the state, and it's largely, I would contend, because of the school choice issue that's at hand right now. And then the whole aspect of the whole region, there was the possibility that Norwich and Sharon and Stratford and Thetford, the 4 towns north of us, could have joined into a union which would have become a choice union there in the upper part of the Upper Valley. That would have made those towns more attractive, and so our valuations would have decreased more. What that does,
what's disgusting?
a side-by-side solution, whereas the 3 towns that have choice would maintain choice, and our school, our town, would continue to go to the high school. If we had a viable high school, that would be a different story. We have 30 kids in the graduating class this year. There were 90 when I moved to town 10 years ago. So when I moved to town to a town that had a functioning high school with a functioning body of students. The whole state has seen a decline. And if we had the other 3 towns contributing their students to our school, we would be back at 90 and we would be fine.
And where are most of these students going?
The ones that are tuitioning out,
Yes.
about 24 of them go to Sharon, which is a private school that doesn't expect that has a closed. You have to apply to get in. Some go to Hartford, but not quite as many. And several go to Hanover, which is across the border. And
Why are they leaving? Why
it's about perception, and so and there's other good reasons. So when you look at matriculation, Hanover's a high-powered school with lots of kids and great results. So when you look at the matriculation data, the highly selective colleges that the kids that graduate from Hanover, they're going 25% of the class is going to highly selective schools. That's, I believe, one of the best, and that's my own calculation. Going through the newspaper, knowing what schools are highly selective, and choosing them. Anybody else could choose their own list, it would be about the same. So that's one of the best in the state, and they're out of state. The closest in our area is Woodstock, which under the same criteria falls in at about 12%. Sharon and Thetford, 2 private schools, are about 7% in my region. And then you get down to Hartford and they're 3%. And because I went to Brattleboro, I looked at them, they're 2%. So vastly different outcomes if you're looking for your child to go to a highly selected college. I don't think that's fair. I think that the money and the support and the emphasis should be going to the public schools so that we can bring them back into line with what they ought to be.